Okay, we are ready. Yo, what's up, people? It's Quest Podcast back on a Thursday where we originally started. We got the Crest crew, the three amigos here for you tonight. A little shorthanded, but we're going to keep it going. Um, First, we get these introductions out the way. I'm going to introduce myself first. I'm M Baines 99. I'm the host for the night. That's all you need to know about me. Next, we got Autumns.
What is up, guys and gals? I am so pumped to be here tonight. It's going to be a great show. Let's get right into it.
Remix.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Remix here. I am pumped, man. You know, I just drank some of Red Bull. Motherfucking tomorrow's last day school for me, and I'm ready to talk some motherfucking games. So let's get into it. Hyper
all right. So let's go then. First, we're gonna start out with what you've been playing for this week. So, Remix, what have you been playing this week?
Yeah, so I've been playing some Gears, some Rocket League. I don't really think I've been playing anything else. You know, been a bit busy this week. Haven't gamed that much. But yeah, that's about it.
All right, Artemis.
Dude, I just finished Prey. I freaking love this game. It is so good. Like, it reminds me so much of, you know, these old type of, you know, games from the 90s, like Half-Life. You know, it reminds me a lot about BioShock. It just, oh man, it pulled me in. It grabbed me tight, and it was just like, let's go on a little adventure. And I absolutely love it, man. I think it's an awesome game. If you guys like first-person shooters, go check it out. I mean, for a lot of you, you probably would be like, it's not really worth it because it's only single player. You know, then wait for a sale. Maybe wait until it's like maybe $40, $30. Pick it up though, because it is a good game.
All right. So, as far as the combat, what did you think about that? Because everybody says the game is good, but they say the combat is kind of lackluster. What did you think?
Well, that's the thing. Like, the combat is a little bit lackluster, but it reminds me of like Halo, you know, back in the day, or well, maybe not Halo, but maybe more like you know, Half-Life, you know, back in the day when you couldn't aim down, you know, the iron sights and stuff like that. You would just basically, you know, shoot from the hip, and I enjoy it. I think it, you know, it's kind of a nostalgia factor, you know, and it brings you in though. It definitely does, with just the character design and some of the enemies that you face. Yeah, there is quite a bit of repetitive enemies, but the game's not long enough for you to really be like, oh my god, you know, this is so repetitive, because I mean, you're always running into different tasks to do and things like that. So
how did the mimic dynamic work out? Like when you go into a room and you really wouldn't know if the enemy was there or not? Was that?
Oh yeah. I mean, you can kind of tell that they're there because there's things that are moving around. So you're like, that's a mimic. You're just like, that's a mimic, but I'm gonna get close to it anyways because I want to kill it. But
so was there times that paranoia factor?
There was, like, here and there when you know, you first start out the game, you know, you're kind of like, what's going on? There were several parts in the game where I was like, oh man, you know, I don't know about, you know, this coffee cup sitting here, you know, so I'd hit it, and sometimes it would be a mimic, sometimes it wouldn't. When it was a mimic, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna keep hitting it. But when it wasn't, I was like, oh, okay. I'm just, you know, it's the paranoia, you know. You're like, oh, what is that, a mimic or not? So yeah, and plus, you know, if you want to get the full story, you will have to read emails, you will have to do things like that. But you know, I didn't really do too much of it, and I still got pretty much the basis of the story, and it's pretty good. It's interesting how everything all started and everything like that.
Okay, all right. So that's all you played?
Yeah, I played it. That's all I played. Yeah, yeah.
Me myself, I played Mirror's Edge Catalyst, and I finished that. Story in that was actually pretty good. I know a lot of people, you know, shitted on the game, but the story, if you just hit the story missions and didn't worry about the side content, the story was actually pretty decent. So, then I'll go ahead.
Yo, Baines, how was that with like you can't pick up guns and that and stuff, right? How was it like in sense of combat and stuff?
I mean, there would be portions where they would like kind of like put you in a box and make you fight a certain amount of enemies, and then some of them would have guns. It would get aggravating, but you could still push through it. You know, it didn't get aggravating enough to make me stop it. I mean, the story was intriguing enough to help me to push through those parts. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
I also played. I went back into the backlog and picked up Sleeping Dogs. So I played that. I actually just finished that not too long ago. That was really good. Sleeping Dogs was really good. At first, I was hearing a lot of people talk about, you know, Sleeping Dogs 2, and then I think there was some reports came out earlier a while back that there will be no Sleeping Dogs 2. And, you know, back then I didn't really care because I hadn't played this one, but now I care, you know, because I want to know. The game was so good. I mean, it took a lot of the aspects of Grand Theft Auto to me and made them better. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, Sleeping Dogs is really good. I was hoping that they were going to do a sequel for that game, and we're not going to see that. I mean, that studio closed down already, and I mean, maybe somebody will pick it up, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I've actually been thinking of going back and playing that myself because I haven't yet, and pretty sure, you know, it was free a few months ago with Games with Gold. So
well, yeah, if you think about it, man, go back and play it. It'll keep you engaged. It's a really good story, good game, period. And then I also played a little bit of the Hot Wheels DLC, and that's just a great DLC all around.
Yeah.
I played it maybe a couple of hours of it, so I gotta go back and play some more. But they did a great job with that DLC. Same with, as K Mega says, Cocaine Mountain. Same with that DLC. They did a great job with the Hot Wheels DLC. Makes me feel like a kid again. So
yeah, definitely, dude. That DLC is just so good, man. I'm so happy that they did something like this for Forza, and you know, bringing, you know, some of my childhood dreams, you know, come true, you know, with some of the tracks and stuff is so cool, you know, just especially when you slow down and you fall off the freaking track and you're like, dang it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna bring up something else too. We don't really have it in the lineup, but we all know the back compact sale has been going on. I think it's over 200 games in there. Are you guys picking up anything?
No.
Well, I got to check it out because I haven't really been on the Xbox all week like I was saying earlier, so got to check them sales out. I haven't really seen any of them yet, you know. Personally.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and I neglected to mention that I started Dead Space? I just started that. So I'm gonna pick up Dead Space 2. And then I was looking at that Alice in Wonderland game that you guys were telling me about a little while ago.
Oh yeah, Alice Madness Returns. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. That looked pretty good. So is it decent enough for a playthrough?
I haven't played it, so
it is. It's just it's a really good game. It's just if you really haven't played the first one, you're not really going to get the story out of it. But it's a pretty interesting. It's a little creepy. It's a dark turn on Alice in Wonderland, and it's pretty cool though. You know, it's a cool dark turn on that storyline.
All right, well, cool. Those would probably be my two pickups. I'm kind of eyeing Far Cry 3, but I hear Far Cry 3 is kind of like Far Cry 4, and I have Far Cry.
Oh no, you got to get Far Cry 3.
You think so?
I haven't played Far Cry 4, but the only Far Cry I've played is Far Cry 3, but it's fucking good. Yeah, and it's worth it just for Voss alone, dude. Like, he is a badass motherfucker. So
yeah, that game right there, Far Cry 3, got me back into the Far Cry franchise, because I mean, I played the first one, that was really good. I played the second one, I was like, I'm not really into it. I was like 3. As soon as I got 3, I was just like, oh man, dude, this game is awesome. And then 4 came out, and I was like, kind of like, you know, it was all right. And then Primal came out, and I was just like, junk.
Yeah, the other ones didn't grab me like Far Cry 3, so I didn't buy the other ones. But Far Cry 3, I think most people would agree that it's the best Far Cry game and it's the pinnacle of the series. So.
Okay, well, y'all just convinced me to add that to the list, man. So I guess I'll be getting Far Cry 3 also. Moving on, we're going to talk about that Destiny 2 reveal. It was it was real cool the way they did it. I mean, it was almost like a portion of E3. You got early. Mm-hmm. So what did you guys think about the reveal?
Well, let Optimus hit this up because I know he's jonesing to talk about it.
Dude, I'm jonesing, but I have a lot to say. So, I mean, I could start with, just, seeing the first trailer that they threw at us, that Homecoming trailer. I think it was, right? It was the Homecoming trailer. I think that was the first one. Yeah. Just seeing that and then building the tower, it was just like, oh man, okay, all right, I'm in for this, because you could tell at that moment that they were making a story out of this one. The last one you kind of had to go into Bungie.net and look at all the Gamora cards and get all that stuff and just kind of read everything. And I feel like this one's just gonna have a bigger story, more things to do. But just that alone from that trailer, I was just like, I was hooked. They hooked me right there. And then they started, talking about what their plans are for the game, and I was just like, okay, you guys are starting to sell me on it. Because I mean, the first one was kind of, for me, it was good. I enjoyed it because, I buy everything. I pretty much, I'm always like, okay, I got to buy that game. I got to buy that one. And I bought it, and I got into it at first, with the first one. And, when I found out that was the ending of the story, I was just like, that's it? Like, it was only like, what, how many hours, maybe like an hour or two, like not even, it felt like 15 minutes, I was playing this story. Yeah, it was just a piece of the story, and you had to go into the internet to find out the rest of it. That kind of made me a little upset with the first one, because I know Bungie is pretty good at making storylines for their games, and for them to not do that with this one, with the first one, was kind of like, okay. So that really hooked me with the seeing the reveal, of the second one, where I was just like, oh shoot, okay, this is gonna have a story. And then going in and seeing the gameplay, they went into the gameplay. Oh my gosh, dude, like, just seeing you on the tower running through it, like freaking battling these like turtle, the Cabal, the turtle looking dudes, you battling these guys, and then you see the I forgot what they call them, the not the head guardians, I forgot what they call them. They have a name for them. It's been so long since I played the game.
Fuck.
I can't remember their names. Somebody probably in the chat knows what I'm talking about. But they had, you're fighting alongside these guys now. Instead of them just being in the tower, just sitting there giving you direction, you're like actually fighting, huh?
They're the Vanguard.
Yeah, the Vanguard.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's the Vanguard. Yeah, Vanguard. Yeah, and just seeing that alone was just like, oh man, it's like nice, dude. At least they're gonna interact with the character. We're gonna see more story.
Yeah.
It was funny when they said, "Oh, you're gonna see more cutscenes in this one than you seen in Destiny 1." I was like, did we see any cutscenes?
Selling in like 2 or 3.
But I was like, giving them the benefit of the doubt, because it is Bungie, and they're really good at creating these types of worlds that you can just get lost in, and them I know this is more towards the end of the conference, but them partnering with Blizzard to put this on PC is going to be an even more of a good thing, because it brings more people into this world, and means that we're probably going to see a lot more we're going to see a lot more probably DLC expansions, things like that. I'm guaranteeing we're going to see I think this game is going to last for a long time. I mean, if you guys want to put anything, go ahead.
Well, I mean, when I saw the gameplay initially, I was thinking like, okay, well, this didn't look too. I mean, it didn't look too different from the first one. It looks like some DLC,
right?
But as long as the game comes with a deep story, which they said it did, and then the most exciting thing for me is that it'll come with an easier way to get with people to play raids, because that was my biggest issue with the first one. Like I came to it late, right? So by the time I got my light level and everything up to a position where it's good enough to play a raid, it was hard finding people. You know what I'm saying? You had to get on different forums and stuff like that. And now they're bringing all that into the game, which is really cool. And so you have all types of different ways to try to get with people to play raids to make it easier. That was like the only content that I missed from the previous Destiny. I never got to do a raid. The new supers are good. The shield was really nice. I like that. I think one dude had a spear and one had a sword that he jumped up.
One
in
had
the
like
air
blades that they threw down.
Yeah, it was raining down. So I'll be interested to see, the other power-ups that go along with those, three, I guess it's still going to be the same, the Titan, the
Warlock, and the Hunter.
Right, and so, a Hunter.
I'll be interested to see all the other, because, you can do a bunch of different upgrades. So I would like to see, that tree. I can't wait to see that.
Right. Just seeing that shield being thrown like so Captain America, dude. I was like, dude, this is like something straight out of a Marvel comic book, but it's in Destiny, and that was cool. I really like the whole Hunter staff that they have. That thing was cool, dude. I was like, oh man, I cannot wait to be a hunter, because that's what I played in the first one.
Okay, I was actually just going to ask you that, guys, like, who did you play in the first one, and who are you going to play in the second?
I'm going to play as a hunter.
Well, I was a hunter in the first one.
Hands down, I'm going to play as a hunter.
Oh, shit. I might be Hunter Squad right here, because I'm going to be a hunter. For sure.
Well, that's the thing. You kind of have to have, different characters. So, I mean, if anything, I'll try something.
I
have to give up.
I'm going to level up each character max, for sure.
I could see myself doing that too.
Another aspect that was really good about this one is it's just going to be so much more to do within each world. It looks like they said there was going to be lost areas to explore. There are going to be other side missions that I'm taking from the way they were saying it, that it's going to have deep content in those side missions. So
it seems like you're going to get
patrols and mess like that.
Yeah, and it seems like you're going to get some pretty awesome rewards as well.
It looks like we're going to see a lot of loot. We're going to see a lot of the stuff that we've seen in the first one, but I feel like we're going to get way more. We're going to get so much more in this one that it's almost as if this was supposed to be Destiny 1. It was held back by, the 360 and the PlayStation 3 era.
Well, they said they took a lot of story content out of Destiny last minute.
Right, because of that, because of the watered down of the 360 and the PS3, because those consoles couldn't handle that type of game. But honestly, if they would have just said, "Hey, we're gonna do this for the next gen of consoles. We're gonna give this to another team to do the last gen of console," like almost like Call of Duty does it same way they do it. I mean, they're partnered with Activision. I don't know why Activision didn't think about it and do that. I mean, maybe it's because it's a new IP and they were kind of skeptic and scared. They didn't know what was going to happen.
What year did the first one come out?
2013.
All right, yeah. I mean, the user base was probably still pretty split across platforms at that time.
Right.
But yo, I'm gonna punch in here for a moment because I haven't really talked yet.
Yeah, go
ahead. Yo, I didn't buy the first game. I don't know. The beta just kind of turned me off and stuff. But I'm pretty pumped about this. I think as far as what I've seen of the story elements so far, I mean, they have like a real good serious tone, but obviously with the hunter leader, they have that comedic relief, and I feel like they have a pretty good setup for a story here, as well as I hear Destiny 1 has some of like the best gunplay, so I'm real excited to get into that and play the multiplayer aspect of the game. I like how this game has quite a bit to it. It has the strikes, the raids, the story, and the events, the side quests, and a multiplayer, which is nice. And right here, Strike Squad, Quest Crew, we're going in. But yeah, man, I'm real excited. The reveal, I think they nailed it. The only time in the reveal itself I was a little bit like, it was the second guy kind of came in and he was kind of expecting applauses in certain areas.
Yeah,
that did not seem natural at all.
Yeah.
Like, dude, what you doing, man? I mean,
yeah, he's like, yeah. Where's that applause, people?
We gotta remember that these people are developers. They're not. They're not guys who go out there. They're not Steve Jobs that can go out there and say, promote their
but
stuff
other than those
like that. So
yeah. Other than those few moments, though, I thought the presentation, they nailed it. And honestly, like I'm probably not gonna do it, but that presentation kind of makes me want to go and pick up Destiny 1, just because it's a pretty good deal now because it comes with the entirety of the game. And I hear that the later DLCs are actually pretty good. But yeah, those are just like my thoughts for now.
Yeah,
until we get into some more.
As far as Destiny 1 now, the later DLCs are pretty good, especially if you're looking for some story. They did do a really good job with those House of Wolves, and then what was that one?
Rise of Iron.
Rise of Iron. Yeah, they did a decent job of those.
Taken King.
Yeah, Taken King was really good. The Rise of Iron kind of fell off just slightly, but it was still decent enough compared to what you got when you first bought the game. So yeah, I mean they're on sale all the time. I would advise picking it up and running through it.
Yeah, I might check it out. And actually, while we're on the topic of the DLCs, so I think that's a problem a lot of people had with the first one was all these expansions cost quite a bit of money. Were they $40 a piece? I do believe.
Right?
So.
$40 a piece. Yeah.
How many expansions does the game have? Do you guys know off the top of your head?
3. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
well, actually, 4 technically because it had the 1 and 2 expansions, and then it had the Taken King, and then it had Rise of Iron.
Yeah. So.
So how, like, actually, I'll take your guys' point of view. Like, how do you guys feel putting your that much money down into a game?
Well, I mean, when I came to it late, so I didn't pay all of that. With somebody who bought it early and then paid for all the DLC. I got it all in a package, so I can't really speak to the value. I got the value out of it.
All right.
For me, it was a little bit of a stinger because I felt like the expansions were not up to snuff to what a lot of these expansions like World of Warcraft give out, or a lot of these other type of MMOs, because they give out some really deep and big expansions, and they might not be every month or every couple of months. They're once a year, and it takes people quite a bit of time to get through some of these expansions. So I'm hoping that with the second game, with 2, that they realized that the expansions weren't good enough to really flesh out the game, and give us some expansions that are just like balls to the wall, freaking epic.
Yeah. And I feel $40 is kind of pricey. I think I'd be more comfortable in maybe like a $20 range. But I haven't played the game, so I don't know how expansive the content truly was or how expansive it will be in Destiny 2. As well as, are there any microtransactions in the game? Because I feel like they would hit those pretty hard.
They're gonna hit those. I'm sure they're gonna hit those hard,
especially with Activision and Call of Duty. Like
right, Activision, it's Call of Duty, it's Blizzard. Helping them out. It's gonna be. There's gonna be a lot of microtransactions, but there weren't. I don't think they're gonna.
There weren't any in the first one, right?
There are, but they were mostly emotes. And I think
yeah.
Some of them were something else. I forgot what the other ones were. I don't think there were anything that were like where you could win the game basically to pay for it. I don't think they'll do that, especially since a lot of the drops that you get, you can just like upgrade it or get something better later on anyways. So I mean, if there's going to be a ton of loot, like he said in the trailer, in the first trailer that we saw, he's like, and there's going to be a ton of loot, so we know there's going to be a lot of that, and hopefully we get a lot of good loot this time around. Hopefully there's more drops of legendary stuff than there were in the first one. Maybe not as much as, let's say, Diablo or something like that, but something similar to where we're getting something good, and we actually feel like we're accomplishing something, because there was a lot of times where in some of these strikes and some of these raids where you would be like, man, I worked so hard to get I played this for so many hours and so many days, and you wouldn't get nothing. You would get nothing, and you'd be like, well, I guess I just got to keep grinding.
And of course, that's saying nothing in a relative term, like nothing relative to what you already had. It's like you worked so hard and you didn't get anything that would better your light level or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? What did you think about the multiplayer aspect of it? It's going down to just 4x4 instead.
What was it before?
You could do 6v6. I think was the highest.
6v6. I think it was the highest. Yeah.
Okay.
And then now
4v4, it means probably the maps are smaller. That's what I mean.
Probably so.
I mean, the crowd seemed kind of excited about that, but I haven't played the game myself. I can't put too much input.
Yeah, no.
So I mean, 4v4 is kind of light though. Like
it is, right?
Yeah.
You would think you would have some modes where
6v6 isn't like that much, But
6v6 actually worked pretty well in the multiplayer aspect of Destiny. It really did.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Especially, they said that they have capture and defend mode now. I don't know what that all entails, but to me, it sounds like a domination, like a Call of Duty domination-esque mode.
Yeah.
And so I feel like 4 is like not that many people for a game mode like that. If there's like 3 points that you have to hold and control. But we'll just have to see how it all pans out. And I mean, they could always add larger game modes, especially with expansions and stuff for multiplayer as well if they wanted to. So that might be their fail safe, but we'll see.
Right, that's what they're probably going to do. They're probably going to say, "Oh, here's our new expansion. Also, you get more multiplayer modes where you can play with more people." and it sells, and people are like, "Oh, sweet," they see that, and it's more of an incentive for them to go out and buy it. My biggest problem is I'm contemplating on which system I'm going to get it for, because for this one, I feel like I know on Xbox.
When does it come out?
September 8th, I believe.
Yeah. I'm contemplating because I'm thinking to myself, well, if the DLC is supposed to come out first on PlayStation, I may want to get it for both consoles.
Yes.
See, that's how they
now we're talking.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, man, should I get it for both, or should I get it just for PlayStation.
Yeah, because I'm thinking it comes out in September. You could say we'll probably get the Scorpio October, November sometime.
Right.
And so I'm like, you know.
By that time, are you really going to be playing it as much? Probably not. You're probably going to be playing something else. You know, you'll be playing it, but you're not going to be playing it as much as, say, you know, something that if it came out in the summer. You know, if it came out in the summer, it'd be a totally different story. You'd be playing that for 3 or 4 months until something else came out. You know,
I'll probably get it for one and then wait for Black Friday or something, you know, deeper in Christmas.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure they'll give like at least a 15% discount by the end or something on the game. And
man,
then
you are just
for the other one.
You're just a cheapo.
I'm just saying, man. I want to get it for both off top. Like I can just because there's going to be a lot of games coming out during the holidays.
Yeah,
you know?
No, you're
there are.
So
August, September is already like a lot of games are already coming out in those 2 months there.
You don't want to just put all that on one game just for 2 copies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing that.
I mean,
well,
I contemplated a little bit getting it for the PlayStation purely for that reason. The DLC comes out earlier, but I'm gonna get it on the box for
I'm leaning towards the box too.
A few reasons. First, you know, I like the online and the party chat and stuff more on Xbox. And second, I like the controller way more, especially for a competitive shooter, like specifically for the online portions of the game, the multiplayer portions. I need an Xbox controller, so that's why.
Right.
And you better get it on the Xbox because we're supposed to squad up, Optimus. Okay. I already said it. Get back out.
Yeah, I'll probably get it for both, or probably get it just for Xbox. It just depends on how I feel.
Yeah, you get it for the box initially, and then you can get it for both initially, and then we'll join you on the PlayStation some other time at a later date. How about that?
It's just because like I'm looking at it, I'm like thinking to myself, if I'm going to spend a lot of time in this game, and I'm actually going to probably pick up the DLC, even though I did for Destiny 1, I'm probably going to want to play it first and really dive into it and actually play it and figure out things that I need to do before I go to Xbox and play it.
Because you got to think that some of those maps, I think they were saying that some of those maps still aren't on Xbox. Some of the newer maps still haven't come to the Xbox version. So
it's
think
crazy.
about that too.
I believe they've had like a DLC gap of like a year on some of the stuff, and I do believe that they said that they're like we can expect that in Destiny 2 as well, right?
Yeah.
So, they did dedicate 5 minutes talking about Sony in the conference, in their partnership.
Yeah, they did. Right at the end, they had a big PlayStation emblem.
Yeah, so it's definitely gonna screw over anybody on Xbox a little bit that wants to play those DLCs, which is unfortunate. But that's how Activision does things. Being the publisher, they love that time DLC stuff because they get money.
I'm hearing that this thing is going to be 30 frames per second. What do you guys think about that?
It doesn't bother me that much. I know I've heard it too.
What about the multiplayer? You think the multiplayer is going to stay at 32?
I was going to say that. Like, I think
multiplayer, that's going to be bad.
But hopefully the multiplayer is 60.
Yeah, that would be crazy, man. When was the last time we played a multiplayer that was 30 frames per second?
I don't think I have it in a while, man. I mean, all Call of Duties are in 60 frames. I mean, every Battlefield is in 60 frames in multiplayer. I mean, I'm honestly, if it's the single player that's in 30 frames and you're, that's fine. It's probably going to be a locked 30 frames because the first one was. But in multiplayer, if they do that, it might be bad.
Yeah.
Well, what was in Destiny 1?
I think it was 30 frames. I think so. In the
multiplayer?
Multiplayer.
I don't think that was 30.
I'm not too sure. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I never really look into that kind of stuff because I just never really cared about, frames per second. It was just always like, if I love the game, then I'm gonna play it,
Well, I didn't care until I played the old Gears one versus the new Gears one. That's when I really started to notice the difference of how buttery smooth that was. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you definitely want like you want good frames just for the smoothness, especially when you're in a competitive shooter. So, hopefully it's 60. Or else, I mean, like if it's smooth with 30, I'll take it. But I'm not a graphics whore or anything like that. So
that's
the game looks the exact same as the first one.
It does, right?
Wise, but you know what? The first one was fucking beautiful, man.
It was.
So this one's
spots that looked really good in that game. It really did. I can't complain about that.
I can't really see us, complaining too much about the graphics on this one. To me, the whole frames per second thing, it is what it is. If it's gonna be 30, then it's gonna be 30. If it's gonna be 60, awesome, great. We kind of need it 60. To be that. Needs to be that, but of course, from what we've seen, yes, that little gameplay trailer was only like 30. I think it was 30 frames per second. So, but when I watched it, it was very choppy.
It was.
So I don't know.
Well, they didn't show that much actual gameplay though either.
Right. So. They didn't. But we saw enough to really, see that it's probably going to be 30 frames for the single player, but we don't know for multiplayer. Mm-hmm. They have to kick it. They have to kick it up to 60 for that one. Especially it's Activision. Like, come on, Activision. You own Call of Duty, and that's always been at 60 frames per second. Why don't you do it with your other games? Like it doesn't. It wouldn't make sense for them to not do that. I mean, I know Bungie, has the final say or whatever, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Let them, put 60 frames in the multiplayer. But when they announced that there was only going to be one more, they were like, we're adding one raid. I'm all like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah,
only one raid.
Well, I think the initial one, they always have just one raid. Like
I know,
but they should have more than one. Come on, I was kind of the same way.
A raid comes with each expansion, right? Or did
maybe there should be more than one raid with each expansion.
Maybe
what about that?
Chat now.
Does that blow your mind? No, but one last thing before we start wrapping up things on Destiny. I'm gonna create a clan, and the Quest clan, okay? And if you people want to play with us, join our clan because we're gonna be the superior clan, right? People, we're gonna be number one.
Oh man.
We're gonna try to be the superior clan.
I could talk about this Destiny reveal, all freaking day.
Yeah, they did. They did a really good job with that reveal, man.
They gave us so much, and it was so cool, man, to see that this game is gonna bring me. It took the sourness out of my mouth a little bit with Destiny 1. So I'm hoping that it continues to do that when the game actually gets released, and we
get to see the beta first. We have a beta in the summer.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna play that beta. And I think this game truly needed its own, kick-ass reveal, and that's what it had. So
probably did it. I mean, it did a lot to boost people's anticipation for the game. That's for sure.
Definitely.
So, all right, wrapping up Destiny. We're done with Destiny. I know, some people just
people are like, "Oh man, you guys have been talking about Destiny for a while."
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the game. But moving on, we see some stuff popping up about the Crew 2.
Oh man,
it's Ubisoft's online racer. I'm surprised. I'm surprised it's getting a sequel. Like, I wouldn't touch the game for free, like the first one. So, what do you guys think?
I'm in the same boat just because I'm not into racers really at all. I mean, the only racer I've picked up in the last 8 years is like Forza 3. So I'm not gonna pick up the Crew 2 if that comes out. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, so what was the Crew 1? I mean, was it just like an open world racer? Was it trying to be like Forza?
Well, that's the thing. They touted it as this open world, go drive across America racer where, you can, basically like a GTA for racers, but, cross America, go anywhere you want, do whatever you want. and it didn't pan out that way. The game was just not up to par with. And when I first saw it, I was like, "Ooh, man, I'm excited for this. This is gonna be awesome," you know. And then I played the demo or the beta, and I was all like, And we all know that most nowadays betas are glorified, basically demos.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, nope, not picking this one up. And with the announcement of the Crew 2, I'm all like, pass.
Yeah, like who's checking for that? Really? Why they ain't spending money on that? They must have some type of audience to go back to the, to the well again. I mean, they must have did something.
Yeah, I mean, plus it's also Ubisoft. I feel like Ubisoft's always trying to push, whatever they want to push, and they try to have a somewhat diverse profile. They have a racer, they have a stealth game, they have tactical shooters, they have open worlds. So they're always, they got their hands in a few different cookie pots or whatever. So cookie jars, that's the word I'm looking for. But so.
But they try to slip in some mechanics from some of their other games that just didn't work with that game at all. It was just like,
you have to drive up a tower or something like that.
Yeah, I was like, am I gonna have to be like Batman's grappling hook on his freaking Batmobile and climb up the tower or something to get this point or whatever? But yeah, they just, I don't know. I think Ubisoft is still trying to get into the car racing genre, and doing something different. It's not really helping them.
Yeah. Do you think it's even really worth it trying to get into the racer genre? Because
I know, right? It's already being ruled. Like, won't you just?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Forza 3 just came out, and that's the big dog. But even before that, there's other big games. Like GT Sport or whatever. It might not be what it was, but it's still got a name. Need for Speed. It may not be what it was, but it still has a pretty big name. And I believe they're making another one. So, is it even worth it for Ubisoft?
Yeah,
is kind of my question.
I think you got another Project Cars coming too. I mean, we don't need any more of these games. I don't understand why they would, put more money into this franchise. I don't see it.
Honestly, I think the thing is that there was, Forza, when that came out, people were like really skeptic about it. But once people started playing it, they were like, man, this is an awesome racer. And then word of mouth went around, and people were like, oh, you got to buy Forza. You got to buy Forza. Then people were starting to buy Forza. And once it became popular, everybody wanted to get into it, which is with everything, like with shooters, it's the same thing. Everybody wants to be Call of Duty, but nobody can be.
Yeah, I think the racer category used to be Gran Turismo's, PlayStations, and now it's Forzas.
Right?
And I don't think anybody else is taking that or touching that.
Yeah, and I mean, like for me, like what I used to play when I was little was Need for Speed. So
yeah.
I thought that game was awesome. I love the cops and kind of like street racers vibe it gives you. But
yeah, I loved the Underground. The Underground series was awesome, dude. I love that series.
Yeah, I can't remember which one I played, but yeah. So
all right.
Yeah, well, it's just crazy that they would even come out with a Crew 2. I don't even understand it.
All right, let's move on. Shadow of War they had a new trailer. It showed some of the open world. What did you guys think about that?
Oh man, another one of those games I'm just gonna get lost in, man. It's just another one of those. Yeah. I can't wait for it. It is the same thing with Destiny. It was hampered down by the 360 version and the PS3 version. That's why the open world wasn't as open as it was in the first one. When both of those games came out, Destiny and Shadow of War or Shadow of Mordor, when both of those games came out, it was 2013. We were just getting these new consoles. Now they've had enough time to say, okay, forget those old consoles. We're gonna do all the stuff that's current right now, and bring you guys something really special. And
Yeah,
I think,
and I mean they're prepping for Scorpio and things too. So
definitely, yeah. And I think this is going to be definitely a Scorpio. You know, like this is definitely going to bring people in and say, "Oh, okay, this is going to look great on Scorpio."
My only thing about this trailer, and it seems like they're showing the same stuff over and over again to me.
Yeah.
They showed you just a little bit of what looked like, some forest and trees and stuff like that. I guess a piece of the other world, but then they take you right back to the tower or whatever, where you're going to, take over a certain tower or whatever, and you're seeing this same picture over and over. So now I'm kind of getting worried. Like, is that the focus of the game? Like, are you not going to have other areas to really explore and do other things with before you get there? I'm almost to the point now where you need to stop showing these trailers, because now I'm starting to think like this game is going to be kind of one dimensional.
Yeah, I mean there wasn't much sustenance to the trailer. Right. And it was kind of just random, I didn't expect a trailer. But I mean, even though I'm gonna butcher this, all I gotta say is for the Bright Lord, man. I was gonna do a little voice, but I backed out last second. Nah, I'm not gonna do a voice. But that little line right there was like fucking badass. Like, I'm ready, I think I didn't play the first one again on this one. I actually own it. I just didn't get into it. I'll probably go back and play it, but man, this game, it just looks like another awesome game, and I'm gonna pick it up. As far as I can see from what I've seen, I'm gonna pick it up. So
I'm definitely down day one. I mean, the first one I thought was a great game. Came out, but I think it was underrated when it came out. A lot of people wasn't expecting a lot from it, but they got a lot. They did a really good job with the first one. The Nemesis system was something that was just so new.
And they built upon that too,
Right. So this one is supposed to, I'm hoping it's going to be great. I just want them now to, since they seem to be showing me the same stuff in each trailer, trying to act like it's different. I want them to stop showing me trailers now. Let's just chill out for a minute.
Yeah, let's just wait till like E3, give us something at E3, and then give us the game. A month
now,
later.
do you guys think that's because they're showing you the same stuff over and over again? Is because maybe the game isn't ready to really be shown off, and they kind of have to throw something at you?
I think
in
it's
order
ready.
To keep the intrigue.
I'm just hoping it's not that it is one dimensional. Like, you may have a little section that you play right before you get to, I forget, these forts or whatever, before you get to that part, but your gameplay is mainly going to be focused on doing that. And see, me, I would want some build up before I get to a fort. I want a pretty nice, decent sized area to explore and play and do different challenges in and whatever else before I get to the fort. But see, every trailer seems to be focused on the fort. Even in this trailer, they were talking about the open world. They gave you some shots of like some forest area, but then they took you right back to the fort. So I'm like, really? Come on. I mean, show me the open world. I really didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't get that feel from this trailer. And so that has me worried,
I mean, for me, I'm not really like, I just don't see a point in this trailer. I was like, oh, that's cool, but you didn't get me any more excited. You didn't show me anything new. There was no need for it. I would have been happy without it, is my point. It wasn't a hype builder for anybody that may have not seen past things, because it didn't give you much. And so I think they didn't need this trailer, and they could just wait till E3 and then have a big thing at E3, and then after E3 have a couple trailers, a little bit of hype right before the game's release. And I think that would have been perfect. But I mean, it's not really I'm not really criticizing them. It's just there wasn't much of a point to it, I feel.
Yeah, it wasn't any point at all. I mean, they can just stop and wait until E3.
Do you guys think they may have done this just because they knew Destiny was going to do their gameplay trailer?
When did this trailer drop? Like, when did it drop?
I think it was a couple days ago.
Yeah,
I think it was a couple days ago.
Maybe to at least keep some punch here.
Yeah, just to be like, hey guys, we got a game coming too.
Hey, we're still here. Don't forget about us. I know we know Destiny's coming
Yeah.
out.
Because
I mean,
they're pretty much
this-
coming out around the same time, aren't they? I mean, I think it's maybe
August.
a week
I
or
believe
two before.
probably late August for. I can't remember the exact date, but I think late August for Shadow of War and September 8th.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they could be somewhat worried.
Right, and I think they might be a little worried because it's like
Mhm.
a week or two before Destiny comes out.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, Destiny is gonna overshadow some games for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. You try to place your game in the best position, but sometimes unforeseen events happen. And I hope the game does well because it seems really cool, and I think people are still gonna pick it up.
Yeah, me too. I think the first game, got enough of a following for people to pick up this game, and then maybe stop it and play Destiny and then go back to this game, but they'll still pick it up. So
Plus,
I don't think they have to worry about that too much.
Plus, you also have to remember it is Lord of the Rings,
Right.
And that's obviously got a huge following as well.
That's a huge franchise.
Yeah, it's huge. So I think the game's gonna do fine. I do.
Especially since Lord of the Rings has so much more lore and more in depth than Destiny. I mean, Destiny's only had one game, and they haven't really showed us too much.
Lord of the Rings has books. It has the Hobbit books, the Hobbit movies, the Lord of the Rings movies. So
Sorry, everyone.
just
keep coming back to Destiny. My bad.
But they just need to chill out on these trailers until E3. That need to be the last trailer they drop before E3.
Yeah, I mean, they honestly need to save a lot of this stuff for E3. I understand why they did it for Destiny. I think because they want to get a lot of hype behind it, and they want to show people that this is going to be a new game and not an expansion. I think for this game, they were kind of just. I think they were just nervous and scared that that their thunder was going to be taken away by another game like Destiny. And they didn't really need to do that. They could have waited till E3 and said, "Hey, here's our gameplay and check it out." And then people were they played it, and everyone was just like, "Oh my god," and they could have said the release date, and then boom, done.
Right. All right. Well, Shadow of War. They don't need to drop another trailer. No more trailers. We'll just
no more trailers. No more trailers. WB.
All right.
Monolith.
Next on the list we have is Warner Brothers thinking about making a Harry Potter RPG. I mean, this is kind of loose. When you're reading the article, you're like, okay, y'all kind of reaching, but
definitely reaching.
The one thing that there were a couple lines that one thing was they're looking for a large-scale Unreal Engine 4 project that requires storytellers to lend a British authenticity.
Yeah. Authenticity. Yeah.
Okay. But see, that's where they're getting it from. Like, okay, we're getting Harry Potter just because we're looking
British,
right?
Yeah.
This could be anything.
This could be a new IP for.
Made up.
I mean, it could be anything. Although, and I mean, I don't see a reason for it to be Harry Potter, right? Like, you would think they would have had some big Harry Potter game when all these movies were releasing. I mean, the main series is, I think, over for sure, right? I mean, they released the Fantastic Beasts and Where They Hide or whatever.
Great movie.
Where they hide, where to find them, dude.
Where to find them? Yeah. To find them, behind it, right? Come on. But that, and I mean, there's just not that much hype for Harry Potter, so I don't know if it's makes any sense. But I do think a Harry Potter RPG done well would be badass. So
it'll be cool.
I think
the other. Let me read this other quotation real quick. He said, "A deep understanding of British culture and grammatical presentation." So we get Harry Potter from those two quotes. Like,
Well, I think the reason why they say that is because it's WB.
Yeah, I know.
And,
I know.
and
they have the license.
but here's the thing: they don't realize like it could be Lord of the Rings. It could be, it could be something along those lines.
Like I said, it could be something completely made up. Like,
right?
They should just say we won't.
James Bond.
Potter. That's what they should say.
I mean, it could be James Bond.
Exactly.
I mean,
no, that's actually so funny because Dave is always like, what's the game? GoldenEye. Wait, GoldenEye, is that it?
But I don't think that's WB though.
Yeah, I don't think it is. It just made me think of it because Dave's not Dave. Game and Ice are always like that, and they bug Dave, and they're like, "It's gonna be at E3, bro. It's gonna be at E3." And Dave is like, "Fuck off." So, but
those guys are great. They're funny.
But no, and I mean, I don't. If it were Harry Potter, I don't think it would be Harry Potter per se. It would just be the Wizarding World.
Yeah, it'd be something in the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But, just from hearing this, I was kind of like, is it a Harry Potter game? And if it is, I mean, they're continuing the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them storyline.
By the way.
Yeah, it's a great movie, and they're continuing the storyline too with another like 2 more movies or 3 more movies or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of it might be a good idea to do something along those lines in that world. Maybe not so much Harry Potter, but Wizarding World of or call it something almost kind of like how Shadow of Mordor did it. They took out the Lord of the Rings and they just put in Shadow of Mordor. It would be the same thing, it'll be
Shadow of Hogwarts. I see it now. But yeah, I didn't know that was a question I was going to ask. I didn't know if they were going to make more of the Fantastic Beasts movies.
Yeah,
and so they do have a reason. But obviously, very very little to go off of, but it would be awesome. They could create an amazing game with the Wizarding World as we call it. So.
Right. And I think it would be an interesting storyline too. I mean, it would be kind of cool to see if they're, who the villain will be, if they do this, and seeing, are you going to be playing Quidditch when you play this game? I mean, is there going to be everything under the sun from that world?
I feel like they need Quidditch for sure.
Yeah, they definitely would have to do it.
It's just safe to say with this article, they got that Manute Bowl reach right now. If y'all don't know who Manute Bowl is, old basketball player, look him up. But they really reach, really reach.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure, I can't remember the article exactly, but I'm pretty sure he's a British guy. At least the way he wrote it, it kind of seemed like it. And so, he might just want to see this game as well. He might just be a Harry Potter fan in general. So...
Right, and that's why we have to be wary about when we see articles like that, because
weary.
We got to be weary about it because we got to be like I don't know, and it comes from a fan's opinion, but at the same time, it's an interesting look at it. It could very well be a Harry Potter. It would be cool. It would definitely be a cool freaking thing. I would definitely pick it up if it does good or the reviews are good on it, and because I'm still on the notion of reading reviews and things like that. I don't read too much of the bigger sites, but I usually listen to people on YouTube and stuff. Yeah, I go to some YouTubers and listen to them and see what their opinions are.
And I think this article is less like, obviously there's not much to go off of. It's less of there's a Harry Potter game in the making, more of it begs the question, would you want to see a Harry Potter game or, that world, and what would you want from it, So,
yeah.
Well, that's the crazy thing is what are we going to see from it? If it is Harry Potter, what is it going to be? Is it going to be
Uh-huh.
actually Harry Potter, or is it going to be in that world and you get to create your own character? You get
You've had
do
Harry
all that
Potter
kind of
video
stuff.
games. You've had Harry Potter video games before. It'll be something within the world that's probably going
Yeah.
on at the same
They're
time.
pretty
that's
old,
going
though.
on, something like that.
Right. Well, the Harry Potter games were shite, but
Yeah,
the
they were.
Yeah, I had
the
one
Lego
on,
ones
I
were
had one
cool.
on the computer.
Yeah, Lego ones.
The Lego
Yeah,
ones
one
were
on
cool.
PC.
Even though I don't like Lego games because they make me fall asleep, they were cool.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Well, let's move on from Harry Potter. Maybe we'll see him. Maybe we won't. But I still think it's a super reach.
It is a reach.
Next, we have the critically acclaimed anti-gravity racing title, Redout. It's making its appearance on PS4 and Xbox. Did you guys watch this trailer?
I did, and obviously it looks just like Wipeout. I mean, but
Yep.
that's
It looks a little better than
what the
Wipeout.
description of the game is these classic racing games like Wipeout. Just interesting though that I was gonna look it up, but I didn't have time. When did these two games release? I feel like they're in pretty close proximity to one another, which could be interesting for sure.
I'm not sure if it gave a release date, but it looked a little bit better
feel like
than
there's at least
Wipeout to
one.
me.
Huh?
I said it looked a little bit better than Wipeout to me.
Yeah, well, that's what I was also gonna say. Is I think obviously Wipeout has the name, but this looks better as well as it's a new game. It's not a remaster, right? Wipeout is a remaster. Therefore, the mechanics of the game are probably going to be smoother than Wipeout. So it's an interesting move. People are getting hyped for Wipeout if they see this instead, and it's better. Maybe they could sway some customers towards their game instead.
I don't think it's an entirely new game. I think it may have maybe it's come from, I don't know where it's come from, but it's coming. It's already been out somewhere because you're getting all the DLCs in a unique format exclusive.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so it's been out somewhere before, but the article doesn't say PC specifically. So
why is this game being made? Honestly,
what's already been made? That's
I know.
What I'm saying.
I know.
But I mean, it actually looks better. Like I was more interested in this than I am a Wipeout. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and the
how
pricing.
dare you say that? How dare you?
Get out of here. Get out of here. And the pricing. I don't know what the pricing of Wipeout is yet, but this game, I do believe they said is $30, right? So 40 pounds, $30, I believe they said. So, if Wipeout is more expensive than that, if Wipeout, we're talking about this the other week, Wipeout to me should probably be a $30-ish game. Probably still won't pick it up at that price though. But, we're thinking they could come out at 40. We'll have to wait and see. And, if Redout is cheaper, people will probably pick it up over Wipeout.
that's true.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it definitely looked like it's definitely Wipeout. It looks a little bit better, yes, of course, but Wipeout has a name, and Wipeout has the mechanics that we don't even know if this game has good mechanics or not. So I mean, it's definitely going to be a toss up.
Yeah,
definitely going to be one of these games that we're either going to enjoy and love, and it's going to bring back a franchise of racing games that has been missing from these consoles for a long time, or it's just going to flop and go away and we'll never see it again.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess we'll see. I'd be interested just to see, what happens when it comes out, but we'll move on. Next up is Farpoint. Farpoint has now dropped for the PSVR. Is this the killer app? Is this the killer app to get people to come to PSVR in droves? What do you guys think?
No.
Yeah, well, we were kind of, no. I agree with no, but we're talking a little bit about this last week, and I was like, oh, I might try to look up something on that, and it just actually popped up in the feed of articles I normally check out, and there's a review on it. And no, I don't think it's a killer app, but I do think it adds to the catalog,
It does.
I think it's a game. If you have VR, you should pick it up. You should try it out. Based off the review, he said some of the story moments are a little quirky. It starts out kind of slow. It can be a little repetitive, but it gets better towards the second half of the game. And, the combat gets better, the story gets better, all that. So, yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be, it's a big project for VR. And so I think it's worth picking up if you own VR already.
My thing, and don't get me wrong, man, I love Sony. I love y'all to death. Really, Sony, y'all cool with me. But why the hell you always got to try to sell me an extra accessory with
an extra gimmick?
Yeah, like why can't you just make the game go with the stuff that's supposed to go with the PSVR anyway? You trying to make an extra buck off of me? I don't get that.
Yeah.
Like that's. I mean, everything with the game looks cool, but that in and of itself upsets me. Okay, so
because
why can't I use my move controllers?
It's because they know you're gonna go for it. They know you're gonna go for it.
It's crazy. I know a lot of people have to.
And with this, you don't have to use the move controllers. You can use the regular controller. All you need is just the VR headset. That's all you need.
You're not gonna have the same experience without the gun, though.
Right.
I know,
but
the
gun, you can get the gun with the game.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's way more. I haven't checked the price.
It's more expensive.
Right. And that's my point. It's another accessory. And one thing about Sony too is a lot of times with their accessories, they're not that well supported with software. So you got to think you're getting this gun for this game. Like how many other games are supported by this gun?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, did you look at the gun? The gun isn't even. It's like a cheap piece of cloth.
Yeah, he's
you know what it looks. You know what it looks like. It looks like. It looks like.
But
it looks
I'm
like.
Nah.
It looks like PVC.
It looks cheap as hell.
That's what it looks like. I was just like, really? Like they could have made a better gun than that. I mean,
yeah, not only
they could have just stuck
the
with
Killzone
controllers.
The Killzone gun that they did for the move controllers was awesome, dude. That gun was cool. Like it looked like a real gun. It fit right into the move fit right into it. It looked really cool. And then they come out with this, and it's just like
that's what I was gonna say. I mean, not only is the gun cheap, it looks cheap. It's like the way that it's laid out is kind of weird. I feel like give me like a nice stock on my gun. Give me like an actual gun feel. Give me a grip, where there should be a grip for my hand. Give me like an actual the underbarrel grip and like a pistol grip.
Or do like Artemis just said,
Yeah.
give me something that fits already into my move. The controllers that I spent money on, these move controllers, you know what I'm saying? If you bought those, you're now looking like, what in the world, give me something that they fit in so I can use those.
Well, the move controllers do fit into that little plastic piece of crap. It just it looks goofy as hell. Like I know you're going to be in the comfort of your own home. You're going to be relaxing, whatever. You're going to put this on. You're still going to look really, really, really dumb because this thing does not look. It's not appealing at all. Like I see it at Best Buy. I know a lot of places are sold out with this Farpoint. I know there's a lot of places that don't have it. Where I live, they still have it because most of the people that live here where I live, they're Xbox people. They play on Xbox, so that's why every time I go into Best Buy, there's never any Xbox games. And I always have to, if I want to buy something physical, I always have to get on PlayStation because of that. Because there's so many people who have Xboxes over here. So if you're ever in the San Luis Obispo area, you can always find the
So does this make you guys any more interested in PSVR?
No, it doesn't. You know what it does? It looks cool. It looks like a cool game. It looks like something that I would actually like to play someday. But at this point right now, like I don't want to spend $600 on a VR set just to play it.
Yeah, that's the same thing for me. The VR is just too expensive at this point, as well. But I think the game itself, it's cool. It's worth picking up if you own a VR. But the accessory is also a turnoff.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's, and I don't know the exact price of it, but it's also probably expensive as well. So worth picking up if you own VR, but if not, then there's just no point.
Yeah, if you already own PlayStation VR, pick it up. It's like what? You already spent $500, $600 on the damn thing. You might as well get something that's cool out of it, like a freaking cool game.
Full-fledged game.
Full-fledged game out of it. And I know, there was, just from the trailer, from some of the reviews I heard, it's a good game. It has a lot of potential. It's just not a great game, and it's not something that you're going to want to play continuously. So
yeah, I feel like this is a game you might get sick in as well. But it shows future potential for VR. I think VR has a future. It's just not now. But that's why you need early investors for that reason. You need see what works, what doesn't work. You see the ups and downs, what fails and what succeeds. And, that's the thing. And who knows, in 10 years, we might have a VR that people enjoy. But you never know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think VR is for gaming. I think VR is for other things. I think it's not going to be this, I think gaming is its way of getting in, but it's also not its way of it's not going to be the way to enjoy your game. It's not going to be the way to interact with gamers and stuff like that. I think it's going to be really for military use or
I think
things like that.
You're right. I think VR, AR, mixed reality, it's all it's going to be its own platform at some point, I think, that has a multitude of applications, and gaming will be an application on there, but people aren't going to might not predominantly buy it for gaming. It'll be like you can do multiple things on your computer, and you can game on your computer, but it doesn't mean you do, right? That might not be the reason you have a computer. And I think that's what mixed reality, AR, VR could be in the future. So.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think VR does have a place in gaming, but it's a niche place, Yeah. I think Farpoint is a good omen for, PlayStation VR, in my opinion. I think if more games go along that route, they can get more people interested. But I do fall back on what you said, Remix. It's going to be used more for other things, and just gaming being a portion of that. Like I said back a while back when we talked about this some other time, I heard where they were trying to get it to where you can be in your VR, but it's like you're sitting courtside at a basketball game. To me, those are the type of applications that are really going to push VR forward, not gaming in particular. So I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But next up, we have Phantom Dust. Has been
Oh God!
Have you played it yet, Optimus?
Dude, I'm not. No, I have no interest in this game at all.
I'm gonna I have no interest either, but I am gonna give it a shot.
Well, it is free, right?
It's free, right? It's free, and I think that is the right move because I don't, some fanboys might have picked up the game, but yeah, I don't think people were gonna buy this game. Honestly, I saw it, the other week when they showed like some gameplay and stuff, and I was like, wow, this kind of looks like trash. This does not look exciting at all. But I think this was the way. I mean, because if it's free, somebody might try it out, and if they do enjoy it, they're going to be making their money through microtransactions, I do believe. I haven't played the game yet. I don't know if there are. I know there's in-app purchases, but I don't know, to what extent. Just because like the game gives you like a little warning, about in-app purchases. So I think that's how they're going to try to make money off this game, if they make any money.
Do you guys think in any way that they're using this to gauge interest in maybe some type of future Phantom Dust game?
It's possible.
Something more up to date.
I mean, it's a possibility. If they did another Phantom Dust, I think it'd have to be a reboot, because it's an old name. I mean, I hadn't heard of Phantom Dust until they're about to get ready to release it. So it just doesn't have a large following, I think, and so I mean they could create a reboot or a brand new game that has Phantom Dust styles, I suppose. It's like a copy of Phantom Dust, but newer, renamed, and rebranded, I suppose.
Well, they canned a reboot actually, right? That was one. That was canned a lot earlier, so maybe they're using this to see if they could restart that. I don't know.
I mean, them going into a free mode of, for this game, it's a good thing. It gets people to want to try it out. It makes people, okay, maybe I might actually get into this. Maybe I actually might like it. For them to do it, to give us this for free is really cool and really good of them to do that. But at the end of the day, are we really going to want to see another game like this? That's what we have to think about. It's such an older style of game that it doesn't really resonate with what we have now. There's just so much more to gaming now than there was back then.
Right.
So
yeah, and based off what I've seen of the game, I just feel like that 2v2 style, I don't know if that fits this game. I think that you can take the idea of this game, right? Obviously, they have a story element. You can do what you want with the story, but I think you can take the idea of this multiplayer and create it into something cool with a new game that's reimagined. You might have these powers and abilities. You might have decks or whatever, but have more than a 2v2, and just make everything smoother, maybe make the goal of the game slightly different, have some different game modes. I think you could do something with the concept, but not with what you have at the moment.
Right. All right. Well, Phantom Dust re-release.
Phantom Dust is in the dust, dude. Let's just say that.
In the dirt.
I downloaded it just to support, but I don't doubt I'll play it. Next up, we have no Halo 3 remaster at all. No way. So, what do you guys think?
I mean,
looking forward to
Halo
it.
3. I mean, they might just be saying that. You never know. But Halo 3 was definitely one of the Halos I spent the most time in. That Halo 1 and Halo 5 are probably my most played Halos. But I think it's okay. I probably wouldn't have picked up a remaster for the simple fact that so many other games are coming out unless it was released in a downtime. Like if it was released at the E3 conference, maybe. And they have the Master Chief Collection. I don't own that, so I don't know what it all entails, but it has Halo 3 in it. So I don't know if there was really much of a need for a Halo 3 remaster,
Yeah. Here's the thing. The only person I know who wants this, and huge shout out to him, Xbot448. If you guys don't know who he is, check him out. He's a good dude.
Next podcast.
He was the only one I know who was like really rooting for this to happen. Mm-hmm. And it kind of saddens me to see that they're not going to actually do it for his sake, because he really isn't. He's a really big, huge Halo fan, and it's kind of like, for me it was like whatever. I don't care if it comes out, then great. I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna play it. And that's about it. But for a lot of the Halo fans, if they would have done this for them, oh man, this would have been something that if they did a full-fledged remaster with the multiplayer and the single player campaign, it would have
it'd been really good.
It would have made a lot of money. It would have made a lot of money. It would have, people would have bought it. But here's the thing. They should have done this with the Master Chief Collection. They should have done that with Halo 3. I understand, like, they probably didn't have time to do it. Well, then they should have waited for the Master Chief Collection then. They should have just done it with that. Why didn't they do it? I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Because all the other games looked great. The first one, the second one, the fourth one, they all looked good. Especially the fourth one. I mean, the fourth one looks like it was made for the Xbox One, but it was on the 360. And it just looked really good. And then you play 3, you play the first 2, you're like, whoa, wow, they did a good job. And then you play 3 and you're like, man, this looks cartoony. It looked cartoony
to the same extent.
Right. They didn't remaster it to that extent, and it was kind of like it looked cartoony to me. It looked like it was Halo 3, but it was just a cartoony version of it. Mm-hmm. I was just like, okay, all right, well, because back in the day, when you saw it, when you saw Halo 3, you were like, wow, this looks good, this looks great. And then you see it now, and you're like,
Well, that's
especially comparing it to Halo 4. Like, Halo 4 is just mind-boggling. Halo 5 just looks even better. So it was just kind of like, they should have just done it. They should have. And they didn't. And they have no plans to. And that makes sense. And they're not going to bring Halo 6 to E3. That I think is upsetting to a lot of the Halo fans out there as well, is that Halo 6 is not going to be shown at E3 this year. So does that mean we're probably still a couple of years out before we see maybe a Halo 6?
Well, no, I think you'll get a Halo 6 next year.
2018?
Yeah, you'll get it 2018. And I think what I've been hearing echoed is that Microsoft is all about showing what's coming, at their E3, they're about showing what's coming 6 months to a year out, basically. And so you'll probably hear about Halo 6 next E3 when it's about to, right before it's about to drop. So I still think it's coming next year.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, they should have done something. They should have really given us something maybe to just hold us off until Halo.
Somebody else said that.
I think they want to prove other stuff they have. I mean, I heard on a podcast, like people always fanboys of, let's say, other platforms always rub it off as, well, all they show is Halo, Gears, and Forza. Well, now they're not going to have Halo or Gears, and which are, I mean, the bigger ones, right? It's a bit bigger than Forza.
Right, yeah.
And so now people, but they're also going to be like, well, oh my God, they don't have Halo and Gears and Forza, all three of them together. So, it's a double-edged sword.
Have we ever had all three of them together? I mean,
not all three together.
I think they are going to have something at E3, and I heard somebody say that it may be like a Halo Wars 2 DLC. I think
Jay said that. I can see that. Well,
which I don't understand why they would make DLC for that game.
343 is going to have something at E3. 343 is going to be there, but they said that they're not showing off. At least Halo 6.
But again, why would you have DLC for Halo Wars 2?
Yeah. There's, I don't know. But I think if they have a good show, they can prove that they don't need to rely on those franchises. So.
You just said a blasphemy thing there.
I'm just saying, man, that game did not get enough traction for it.
No, I know.
You could take that money
and
do something else with it.
Right.
It's an RTS. It's a niche title.
Yeah. So, like I said, why DLC for Halo Wars 2? Like, seriously, come on now.
Yeah, especially if they're gonna show off a DLC at E3, they would have shown off Hot Wheels.
Now, for anybody out there that's played the game, because I know Chicken is a big proponent of this game. Like, You know, there was a while there that he had like an old Twitter feed of Halo Wars too. Like he was champion the game. He says it's really good, and a lot of people say it's really good. I don't doubt that.
Right.
The game did not get enough traction to me to warrant DLC. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I just know what I'm gonna like or what could pull me in. You know, if I haven't tried it before, and it's just not for me. You know,
right.
I mean, if you like it, that's great, but it's not for me. So, you know.
All right. Well, next up. Give me a second here. Let me get my list.
Baines.
I'm sorry, people. Sorry, people.
Hey,
okay. But that Destiny, though, right?
Destiny,
well, I mean, we only talked about that for like 40 minutes.
We talked about that
Destiny
for a while.
South Park. My bad, people. My bad. Let's go. Keep it going now.
Yo, South Park.
South Park. The Fractured Butthole, right? Release date is October 17th. What you guys think?
All right. Turn off your phones, motherfuckers.
It's not my phone.
I think the October 17th release date. I don't think it's great. I mean, I don't think the game is going to get totally trashed or anything because it's South Park, right? People were like, "Oh, it's dead," but it's South Park. Come on, and people have been waiting for this game. But that's another issue. You know, we expected it in December, then we expected it in the spring, and now we're expecting it this fall. So, you know, we've been waiting a while on this game, and I'm just not that interested. I didn't play the first one. I think it's funny. I watched it, but it's a game I'm fine with just checking out on YouTube. I haven't just watched like a Let's Play in a while, but, you know, that's where I get plenty of enjoyment from doing that. So that's probably what I'll do.
Right. For me, I was interested in the beginning. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be cool. You know, as soon as they said the release date, I was like, sweet, awesome, I'm gonna pick it up because, you know, I didn't play the first one, but I like South Park. You know, I really do. I think it's a funny show. It's hilarious, and you know, a lot of people tell me that the first game was hilarious. You know, and I'm all like, sweet. You know, I'm gonna pick it up, play it. You know, maybe pick up the first one as well, just to play that.
Well, the first one was gonna come with it too.
Right. And then I'm like, okay, you guys said you were going to come out with it in October. Okay. Yeah, I'm not holding out for hope that it's going to come out because we've already gotten 2 delays. They've already said that they were that it might not come out until next year, you know, because their release window was from now until spring of 2018. And it was just like, okay, well, you know, we might not see it until 2018. So
yeah,
they kind of lost
at that point.
Here.
At that point, I think it's like, okay, it's almost kind of like BioShock Infinite when that came out. You were excited for it, you know, at the beginning, and then like you lost interest. But as soon as it came out, you were like, okay, I'm gonna buy it. You know, it's gonna be one of those kind of games.
Well, yeah, for me, I'm kind of in the same boat as you, as in, you know, I was excited the first time around. You know, December. There weren't that many games into December, although we had just bought a lot. Maybe I'll get it for Christmas, you know, throw it on the good old Christmas list. But the third time around, you know, you've lost me. You know,
yeah.
I can take it or leave it. If I have some extra money, which I won't because I'm gonna be a broke ass bitch in college, then I'll pick it up. But otherwise, nah, you know.
Don't worry, I got you.
Well, I mean, I just heard so much about the first one. Like the first one was just so good, and I've never watched a Let's Play or anything like that on it.
I watched a Let's Play on the first one. It was funny. It was funny as hell. But
what about like the gameplay aspect of it? Like, how did that look? Was it?
Well, it's
like a turn-based game.
Turn-based. Okay. Well, I'm out.
Like I'm out.
I mean, it didn't look bad. And, you know, there's jokes in it. I mean, like, you build up, like, your fart meter and stuff and have, like, an ultra fart attack and crap like that. But, you know, it's something I can take as watching, you know, like, a little show, you know.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know, man. I can't do turn-based. Like, I don't want to do that. I guess that's what it is. I just don't want to do it right now. Like, there's so much other stuff out there better than that. But I still go back to the fact that so many people, said that the first game was really, really good. So
Well, you should check out a little gameplay.
yeah, I will. We'll have to see. Assassin's Creed has had some leaks come out. They've been control leaks from what the article said. Did you guys get a chance to look over the article?
Not really. So you want to
wow.
enlighten
Of
me?
course I did.
Wow,
Of course I
yes.
did, because you know me, I'm a freaking Assassin's Creed enthusiast, man.
Oh yeah.
I want an Assassin's Creed coming out every month.
No.
I know you guys are like, no way, no.
You know,
Yeah.
I like Assassin's Creed, but they lost me for a while. I'm gonna pick this one up. I can tell you that. They lost me for a while. The first like 3, and I picked up Black Flag and at least one other one,
Mhm.
but yeah, they just lost me there for a bit.
From the news, it sounds like they're going back to more of original, their original idea for Assassin's Creed. That's a good thing. It seems like it's going to be more along the lines of Assassin's Creed 2, which is probably one of the best Assassin's Creeds.
Which one?
I
Is
wouldn't say
Brotherhood?
it's the best. I would say Brotherhood was probably the best. Brotherhood was
Yeah.
after 2, because Brotherhood brought in some really cool mechanics that 2 didn't have. Especially being able to control other assassins, telling them where to go, what to do.
Which one is
that was pretty cool.
Revelations?
Revelations was right after Brotherhood.
Okay, that's what I
That
thought.
was-
So
yeah.
I've played 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, and Black Flag. So.
Yeah, and here's the thing: like, Black Flag is Assassin's Creed, but it's not Assassin's Creed. It's a pirate game.
Yeah.
Through and through, it's.
I've only
a pirate
played a
game.
little bit of it. I haven't played that much because I kind of watched it instead before I got it. So
But it seems like they're doing
Well,
a lot.
that's-
A lot. Go ahead, Thomas.
Well, that's the thing for me. If with them saying that they're going to go back and kind of go back to the drawing board and do something more that seems more along the lines of Assassin's Creed 2, is really good for me, because I 100% that damn game. I even did that with Brotherhood. Both of those 2 games I did that with. The others
I did play some
I didn't
multiplayer
do
on
it.
Brotherhood.
Yeah, I even played multiplayer too. And with this one, they're not bringing back any multiplayer, which is good. They're focusing on the single player campaign. They're gonna, really make that tight. I'm glad that they're going to go back to, almost kind of like a Desmond style, where you're not just some random person,
Right.
like they did in Black Flag and in Unity, and I think even in Syndicate as well. They're going more for a, Desmond, Miles type of storyline, and that's a good thing, because I really like Desmond Miles.
Yeah,
Storyline.
I think I kind of also like more of like the lab feeling over like I don't like the whole. I don't know what they plan to do, but I don't like the whole like entertainment center thing. I mean, it's just kind of weird. I mean, I understand it because it's like, ooh, Abstergo is this big company and they've taken over. They're
Okay.
big in media and all this other crap, but I'm just kind of like, yeah, I can take it or leave that.
Right.
No, it says that people like William, Rebecca, Sean all make appearances. Do y'all-
Yes.
Who are they?
Though William, Sean, Rebecca. Rebecca is like Sean and Rebecca are the what are they? They're like the people who helped out Desmond in the first 3 games.
Okay.
To basically helped him escape Abstergo and helped him with a lot of the plans of what happened in Assassin's Creed
Yeah,
from
Okay.
1 to 3. And I forgot what William does. I can't remember what he does, but it should be interesting to see those characters come back, especially with this day and age of graphics that we see. Being able to see maybe even some more cameos from other people in the Assassin's Creed lore would be kind of cool. I doubt we'll see like Leonardo da Vinci or something like that. We're probably not going to see that, but we might see maybe flashbacks of Ezio, or maybe a flashback of or maybe, well, actually, it wouldn't be a flashback because this is kind of an origin story. So maybe we'll see into the future.
It seems like they're doing a lot of things to polish the game.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
The world is supposed to be bigger. It's saying that stealth is supposed to be more integrated into the world. Like you can actually hide on corners.
Yeah.
Now, were you not able to hide? I think I've hidden on some corners in that Assassin's Creed.
You weren't able to do that. They're more going for like a Splinter Cell type of stealth,
Okay.
which is good, which is like pretty, awesome that they're going to do that. Especially if you're assassin, like you're not going to just jump right in there and jump into combat with somebody. You're gonna strategize, you're gonna strategize, and you're gonna find out the weaknesses and go in all stealth. So I think
Now,
it's
one thing about Syndicate, the enemies kind of fought the same. It does say that they're reworking the whole combat system so that the enemies will have different attacks and they'll actually try to flank you now. So I guess the AI is going to be smarter.
Which is a good thing.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Which is a good thing because the AI hasn't really been that smart in the other ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Dumb,
Exactly.
really, you might as well say. The world is supposed to be much bigger. The only thing that I don't like is that I keep seeing, like I've seen several times, like The Witcher 3. And I think when games go for that, like The Witcher 3, they mess up.
Yeah, you should never say like The Witcher 3. Especially, I mean, these are two different games, okay?
Exactly.
I mean, The Witcher 3 has magic, and is there even stealth? I don't know. Is there stealth in The Witcher 3? I mean,
No.
Assassin's Creed is a stealth-based, assassin game. They're just different. Let's keep them in separate categories. They're open world. That's the similar, and storytelling. That's the similarity they have. But overall, my thing is, they've had this game in production a lot. They're polishing things from what they say. I think they're doing the right thing. And, hopefully they execute,
Yeah.
So.
It says no naval combat too. Me personally, I'm happy about that. I don't want to have to deal with that. I'd rather just use my boat to go to certain places, but I don't want to have to. Like that's one part of Black Flag, which I haven't gotten through the whole game, but that's one part of the game that I dislike, is having to, take my boat and fight against another boat. Like I don't want to do that. It's not what I'm playing Assassin's Creed for,
How dare you?
I'm just saying.
Dare you?
Black Flag was good. It just didn't fit in the series that well. I mean, I think most people agree. Desmond, that those three games, those were the best.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed died when Desmond left. When Desmond died. Oh, spoiler alert! I'm sorry.
Oh.
Even though it's been like 25
Even though
years.
It's been like 20 goddamn years.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, they're doing a lot of changes with Assassin's Creed, and it seems like they're going to be pretty good. I guess we'll get a release date around E3 too. I was hoping for it to drop this year, but I guess it's going to be already hectic during the holiday season anyway. So
I think it is going to still drop this year. I honestly think they're going to do it this year. I think because every Assassin's Creed has come out in November, either right after Call of Duty or right before Call of Duty. So we'll probably see it somewhere around there.
Yeah. Oh, and one last thing before we go though, it's kind of interesting. Last fall we had a lot of shooters. This fall seems like we're gonna have a lot of story or cooperative games. I mean, we're gonna have Shadow of War, Destiny 2. We might have Assassin's Creed. So it'll definitely be interesting how all these big storyline players, less focused on the multiplayer aspect.
Can't forget Red Dead
how they
Redemption
compete
2 if
with
it
one
actually
another.
does drop.
Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2. And I'm sure there's going to be more. So, be interesting.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to Assassin's Creed. I'll be looking forward to see more at E3. Thief Studio boss mocks the report of an actual, Thief sequel. Like we talked about. I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we talked about this last week.
I don't. I
Go
could
ahead,
care
though.
less either way. I mean, I didn't play the first one, and it didn't look like something I would be interested in.
Yeah, well, it sounds like they retracted that there's going to be a Thief 2, I guess. The producer of the movie is who tweeted it out, and I guess he deleted his tweet. So I don't think there's really much to talk about on this. It's just, it was retracted, and I don't really give a fuck. So.
Right? Like, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't understand why they were making another Thief game anyway. I thought the first one bombed. So
they said that all their studios would be too busy anyways to make this game, but who knows? Who knows? If another Thief game were to come out, I'd look at it. I'd see if I was interested, but based on the portfolio I'm seeing for this holiday, this fall, I'm set. I'm good. I don't need any more games.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it was Thief. Like, oh my gosh, I don't even care. Like the first one, the remake was just not good at all. So it's whatever. It is what it is.
all right. Well, I guess this is going to be maybe a first.
Yeah.
The popular indie publisher, Devolver, they're going to have their own E3 presentation. Now, I've never played any of these games. Hotline Miami, I've heard that talked about. Love Trousers, Broforce. I've heard Broforce talked about. Enter the Gungeon.
I've heard that one too.
Yeah, Not a Hero, Titan Souls, some other titles. But they're going to have their own E3 space. I guess this is kind of revolutionary.
Well, they pretty much they publish a ton of indie games, and that's what they're known for. And I guess some pretty good ones. And we were talking about Absolver last week. They're the publisher of that game as well. Okay. I think they've done things like like last year. I believe that they had like a little thing right outside of E3, like they had their own little tent and stuff. But I think this is cool. Obviously, see some indie games, something a little different to switch up all these other presentations that we're going to be seeing, and check out, maybe shed some light on some interesting games that, we wouldn't have seen otherwise. And, obviously it's a good thing for this company.
Indies period of becoming more of a viable conduit to get your game.
I mean, I've actually been looking into some. Yeah, I've actually been looking into some indies lately, just to break up all these other games. But they, I think this is cool, especially because I actually just had this thought back a while ago. We talked about it, and I believe it was Devolver that helped some companies from out of state, with the whole travel ban. They brought in some of their games and helped them show off their games at big, like dev showing of different games and stuff, not for the public or anything. So it seems like the company's done some cool stuff, had some cool games, and I think it's it's good to have some new blood in there. Let's get another company in the rotation.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think it's good because the indies are really having a really good showing. You're getting a lot of good indies that's coming out. I'm just like you. I've started to look more in that category for some just different gameplay. Sometimes a lot of it's old school, really old school stuff. I really don't go that far. But kind of like Rise and Shine. I don't know the developer, but that game,
that was Adult Swim, wasn't it?
Yeah. That game was really good. There was a couple of games on PlayStation like Alien Nation and Live Lock. I've looked at here recently. So yeah, I'm starting to open my eyes to indies more, and it's good that they'll have their own actual press conference at E3. I think it's
I
big.
haven't played Rise of Sun yet, but yeah, I have it too. Sorry, I kind of cut you off there. Hue, I just played Hue and Limbo, and I played Little Nightmares. I haven't finished that yet. I kind of lost track of that game, but I'll have to get back to that and finish that up. But yeah. So
What do you think, Artemis? Artemis, did we lose Artemis?
You know what? I think that it's cool. It you
he's
know,
like, I don't give a fuck.
honestly, yeah, I don't. I honestly don't. I've never been really into indie games or anything like that. I mean, it's good what they're doing. They're going to be, coming to E3 and having their own showcase and doing all that, and having a spot on the floor, show off their games. That's great. It's great for indies, but at the end of the day, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I still think it's good, but like I said, it's taken me some time to get over to the indie side, but I'm slowly starting to look more in that category for some different type games.
Yeah, definitely. Same boat.
Next, Nintendo wins another NPD. What do you guys think?
Not a surprise. I mean, the Switch is still fairly new. When are they releasing that 2DS? Have they yet? I don't even know.
I don't know.
But that could have helped if they have. I don't really pay attention to the Nintendo news because it's kind of just the same stuff right now at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So expected. It's the newest piece of hardware there is. So
yeah, we'll have to see if the momentum keeps going. I saw a couple of tweets when this was announced that said Nintendo will probably come up and catch the Xbox and overtake it. That would be funny.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But I'm going to make my statement very quick here. Okay. Of course they won.
Yeah.
Of course they won.
Yeah.
The Switch just came out. The Zelda just came out. Friggin' Mario,
Kart 8.
Mario Kart 8, Deluxe just came out. So, it makes sense for them to have another win under their belt. But for them to say that it's going to catch up the Xbox, I don't think so.
Yeah, I doubt that. Man, we'll just have to see if the momentum carries through. Valve is launching a new VR set. I guess this is supposed to be a cheaper version of what they already have.
They didn't give a price.
But it's supposed to be for your phone too, so I'm thinking it's going to be cheaper.
No, they said no phone. I thought.
Oh
Did
yeah,
they say
yeah.
no phone?
That says he
No
doesn't.
phone, no PC. It's
PC or
the system is within the headset itself.
Okay. Well, that may be more expensive.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking. It might be more expensive. They don't have any specs yet. Really, all we know is that it's using the Google Daydream platform, which I haven't heard of before. I'll have to, you might want to look into that. But obviously, though it might be more expensive. Definitely, it's eliminating the need of a PC,
Right.
which adds a lot of cost.
Mhm.
So if you need a $1,200 PC and you need a $500 VR headset, it's quite a bit of money. Now, if you pay maybe $800 for the VR headset and you have everything, that's actually a better deal. So we'll have to wait and see what the specs are, and but I think VR had to go this direction. It had to no wires direction and stuff. And like I was actually talking about earlier, this shows that VR needs to be its own platform, right? I was saying it'll be its own platform, just like a computer or a console, and it'll have its own applications and uses and things. And so I think this is kind of, just slowly going down that path.
Yeah, because it's going to come down to the software at the end of the day, and I think that's the big problem with the Vive and with the Oculus. It's just they don't have the premium software to support the hardware right now. And it's good to come out with these this VR set. It'll be good to get rid of the wires, to have it compact and let it be its own system. But still, you're just going to need software to push it. And
Yeah.
right now, I think that it's not going to be the gaming software, just like you said, Remix. I'm going to echo that again. It's not going to be the gaming software. It's going to be other things that push it. So, what you think, Artemis?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of hit VR a little bit harder.
Yeah, we hit VR earlier, and it's the vibe.
Yeah,
It's one of the best. It actually is the best VR headset on the market right now, and they're just making another iteration of it. Okay,
Yeah. Hey, I like that line. I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay. We need
right.
Space Cat in here. Okay.
Right. All right. The Witcher 3 is becoming a Netflix series. I think that's going to be really good.
I think this could be a pretty Netflix series. And I know people are going to be like, oh, but, video games into movies or TV shows haven't been generally successful. But remember, these are books, first off, and books have made great movies and great TV shows.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah. And second, I don't think it's going to have any – I don't know if there's really going to be a large connection between the actual game itself. Something just popped up on my computer. It's just like an update. But so it's going to be based around these books. For what they say, and I think they have some good potential here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's going to be based off of the books, which is good. Because those books have big, huge lore. They're very in depth. So for them to do that for a TV show, it'll be something interesting. It'll bring something to Netflix that we haven't probably seen yet.
Is Geralt part of the books at all?
Yes, he is. He's completely part of the books.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that because I was about to say like that won't be as connected to the games, but then I was like,
this is what happens before the Wild Hunt, before the Witcher 3 games.
Yeah.
This is all the stuff that has happened throughout his time as a Witcher. So
that's gonna be really interesting.
I'm excited for it. I can't wait, but at this moment, I'm still skeptic on how they're going to do it because I'm such a huge fan.
Yeah.
Well, but I feel it has great potential.
I think it's huge. It was huge news. I'm very interested in the series, so I guess we'll have to see. I'm pretty sure it's still a while off. But to take it from that aspect of the story, kind of like a pre the games, the story, before the games, I think that'll be really cool. I'll be really interested to see how things play out because I never read the novels. I just played the game. I only played that one game actually, and I watched several YouTube where they put these stories together, the first and second one for you. I watched that, and those are pretty interesting, the first and second story. So,
and also, we haven't seen too many of these Netflix series yet, but you see a lot of these games are moving a little. Some are still trying in the movie market, but a lot of them are moving a bit away from the movie market, and they're starting to make Netflix series and stuff. There haven't been too many that have been released, but there's been quite a few announcements of video games into Netflix series, which is kind of interesting as well to see that trend.
Right. So, I'll be looking forward to that, and with that, that's our show, people. It's 10:53 Eastern. A lot of people are probably sleepy, so we can go ahead and wrap it up. Artemis, take us out. Long pause. I think Artemis went to sleep.
Oh, did you say me? Oh, okay, dude. I was like, who are you talking to? Oh,
you started snoring. That was the thing.
No. I was like, who is he? Who did he throw that to? As you guys know, I'm Dark Optimist. You guys can find me on Twitter at the same name. You can also find me on Xbox Live. And that's about it. It was a fun show. See you guys next week. At the same time,
Put a little energy into it.
Also, you know, we're so for a lot of people who haven't seen it or know, we have switched back to Thursdays. We are going to from now on be on Thursday nights, right after Got Four Guys with Quarters. So definitely check them out, and also come by and give us a
Say
little hi.
Remix.
Yo, find me on YouTube, Beam, Twitter, Xbox, PlayStation. All Remix Essence, some with space, some without. PlayStation has a little underscore in there. And that's about it, you know. Come play games, man. Fucking, you know, we're friendly people here. We like to game. And that's all I got to say. All have a great weekend this weekend, because I know I am, because school's out tomorrow, bitches. So let's go.
Hi, and I'm MBaines99. I was your host. It's MBaines99 on Xbox and PlayStation. Other than that, don't worry about the rest, because I don't need the stress. And we out.
Dang.
Peace.
See you, everybody.